Welcome, everyone. I used to be the king of procrastination. Every day, I promised myself that tomorrow would be different. Tomorrow I would wake up early, exercise, work on my goals, and finally fix my life. But when tomorrow came, I hit snooze. I scrolled through my phone. I told myself, I'll start after lunch. Maybe after dinner. Or next Monday. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. I felt like I was watching my own life slip through my fingers while doing nothing to stop it. The worst part? I knew I was wasting my potential. I had big dreams. I wanted to start my own online business, learn a new language, and get fit. But my laziness always won. Until one evening when everything changed. It was a rainy Friday night. The sound of water tapping against the window filled the room while I lay on my couch, half buried under a blanket, mindlessly scrolling through random videos I didn't even care about. I wasn't laughing. I wasn't learning anything. I was just wasting time. Then, suddenly, my phone buzzed. It was a message from my old school friend, Daniel. Hey man! I just launched my first online course. Finally made my dream happen. Attached was a link to his brand new website. I froze for a second, staring at the screen. Daniel and I used to dream about things like this. Back in school, we would spend hours talking about the projects we wanted to build, the freedom we wanted, the life we were going to chase. We had the same fire, the same excitement. But here I was, lying on my couch with a half-empty bag of chips, doing nothing, while Daniel was out there actually building something real. For some reason, that message hit me harder than I expected. It wasn't jealousy. I was proud of him, honestly. He deserved every bit of success. What hurt was the mirror it held up to my own life. His progress reminded me that I hadn't even started. Laziness had wrapped itself around me so tightly that I didn't even notice it was stealing my time, my dreams, and my confidence. I set my phone down and just stared at the ceiling. My mind was racing. A heavy question kept echoing inside me. Am I really going to keep living like this? Letting days slip away, hoping tomorrow will magically be different? Or am I finally going to fight for the life I want? That night, I could not sleep. The rain kept falling, and so did my thoughts. For the first time in a long time, I felt a spark, tiny but real. And that was the beginning of everything. The next morning, I promised myself, I will beat laziness no matter what. I had said similar things before, but this time it felt different. Something inside me had shifted. Still, I knew I could not rely on motivation alone. Motivation is like fire. It burns bright in the beginning but fades fast if you do not keep feeding it. I had experienced that cycle too many times already. So instead of chasing motivation, I decided to build discipline, starting with something small. My first goal was simple: make my bed every morning. It sounded ridiculous, almost too easy. But that was exactly the point. The first day, I made my bed. It took less than 30 seconds, but when I stepped back and looked at it, I felt a tiny sense of accomplishment. It was small, yes, but it was also a victory. Okay, I thought. What's next? The next step was adding 10 push-ups to my routine. Nothing extreme, just enough to get my body moving. After that, I started setting a timer for 5 minutes of work on my business idea. That was it. Just 5 minutes. What surprised me was how those small steps created momentum. After 5 minutes, I often found myself working for 20. After 10 push-ups, I pushed through to 20. The effort grew naturally, not because I forced it, but because starting made it easier to keep going. It was never about doing a lot. It was about proving to myself that I could start. And every small action was a reminder that I was no longer stuck. Of course, laziness didn't just disappear. Every morning, I heard that familiar voice, "Come on. Just sleep a little longer. You'll do it later. Why bother? You'll fail anyway. But I started answering back. I would literally say out loud, "Shut up! I'm doing this now!" It sounds silly, but talking back to that lazy voice made me realize I was in control, not my excuses. One trick changed everything for me: the 2-minute rule. Whenever I felt lazy, I told myself, just do it for 2 minutes. Too tired to clean? I would pick up one thing for 2 minutes. Too lazy to work out? I would put on my shoes and stretch for 2 minutes. Too unmotivated to work on my project? I would write one sentence. Most of the time, 2 minutes turned into 20. And even when it didn't, I still felt good because I did something instead of nothing. 2 weeks into this new routine, something strange happened. I woke up one morning and realized I did not feel as lazy anymore. It was as if my brain had started to expect action instead of excuses. I began waking up earlier, not because I had to, but because I wanted to. I spent my mornings writing down business ideas, building a simple website, and learning skills I had been putting off for years. Step by step, my small wins gave me more confidence. One Thursday night, I came home from work completely exhausted. My old habits started creeping back. I skipped my routine and told myself, one day off won't hurt. The next day, I felt terrible. Not because I failed, but because I realized how easy it was to slip back into laziness. That moment pushed me to create my no 0 days rule. The rule was simple: no matter how tired, lazy, or unmotivated I felt, I would do at least one small thing every single day. Even if it was just one push-up, writing one sentence, or spending 2 minutes on my project, I had to do something. Because something is always better than nothing. Weeks turned into months, and the small actions started paying off. I lost 5 kilograms by doing 10 minutes of exercise each day. I saved money and bought a better laptop by spending less. I started a small online store and made my first $100. It was not really about money or fitness. It was about learning that I could trust myself to take action. Now, when people ask me how I beat laziness, I tell them the truth. I did not beat it overnight. I beat it by taking one tiny step again and again. Because you don't need to climb the whole mountain in one day. You just need to take one step. And once you take that first step, the next one feels easier. If you are stuck in laziness, do not wait for motivation. It will not magically appear. Do something small right now. Wash one dish. Write one sentence. Do one push-up. That is how I started. That is how I won. And you can too. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you liked the story, kindly like, subscribe, comment, and share. Keep going, be kind to yourself, and see you again on Stories by the Window.